There were a certain, oh, we are English-speaking people that used to look down on me for saying Namaste. They used to be like, why are you saying Namaste? We speak English. And I'm like, yes, so do I. I studied at Columbia, but I'm an Indian, so Namaste anyway. I was shaken up. My confidence was at a low. After your first two films, people put you on this unrealistic, unmaintainable pedestal. You don't imagine that you will be taken off it. And then when you are, you suddenly don't know where to stand. So it was difficult. लोग बोलते हैं ना कि rebel without a cause. I've been confident without a cause. मतलब, I mean, I was 96 kgs when I used to walk around school being like, yeah, man, I'm hot. So,
Amazing.
And I think that comes from knowing that उतार चढ़ाव होते रहेंगे, but who you are from within now, if you lose that, that's when it gets really sad. Till very recently, it had never happened. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, okay, this is what they talk about.
Hello everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guest today is like the show. It's very easy to speak to her. She's candid, she's beautiful and very, very talented. And this is going to be a big one for her. Hello, Sara Ali Khan.
Hello, G. How are you?
I've been good. How have you been?
Good, also.
You've been shooting, you've been doing everything. But of course, I think the world is sometimes very loving and the world is sometimes very hating. How have you dealt with all of that?
Understood that that's part of it. I've understood that sometimes you get love and sometimes you don't, which is why the only thing to do is to take everything with a pinch of salt. You should, I'm not saying ignore, because ultimately, especially films, like if I'm talking about films, you do films for the audiences and for the media. So you shouldn't ignore their love or their hate, but just take it with a pinch of salt and be cognizant of who you are and live a little anyway.
The fate of Love Aaj Kall, whatever the fate was, it was. It's an Imtiaz Ali film, so I think the expectations were right there. I want to ask you, A, how did you deal with all of that? And then, of course, there is someone who has this kind of conviction in you that, hey, don't give up on her because there's Atrangi Re and it comes from that.
So firstly, I started shooting for Atrangi Re 10 days after the release of Love Aaj Kall.
Oh, okay.
So he hadn't seen any of me before Love Aaj Kall. And as far as it comes to what Anandji said, he told me the same thing. Because I was shaken up. My confidence was at a low because, now with experience, one understands and, appreciates the way the world works. But when you've just entered the film industry and after your first two films, people put you on this unrealistic, unmaintainable pedestal. You don't imagine that you will be taken off it. And then when you are, you suddenly don't know where to stand. So it was difficult. But Anandji put it for me very clearly. He said, Sara has seen failure, but Rinku hasn't. And if you are now going to be Rinku, you have to be her with conviction. Therefore, you are a confident, assertive, strong girl and you just have to go out there. And as a person, honestly, Rudrani, I've been the kind of person that has always been confident without a reason. लोग बोलते हैं ना कि rebel without a cause. I've been confident without a cause. मतलब, I mean, I was 96 kgs when I used to walk around school being like, yeah, man, I'm hot. So,
Amazing.
And I think that comes from knowing that उतार चढ़ाव होते रहेंगे, but who you are from within now, if you lose that, that's when it gets really sad. And I don't think I allowed that to happen.
And I think that's wonderful because as being a part of the industry, I'm sure there'll be a lot of more successes and a lot of more failures, right? And you can't sort of...
And can't get attached to either. It's not just the failures, it's even the successes. You can't let anything go to your head because acting is part of what you do, but it shouldn't be all you are. My father sent me to Columbia University, so that's not all I am. There has to be a sense of balance and identity external to the films. It's important.
When you say they put you in a pedestal, to you they literally did.
They did.
Because after that coffee episode, it almost felt like anything we do, anything you did was trending for good.
No, I know that.
Right?
I felt that.
Yeah.
I mean, like when people used to talk to me about trolling, till very recently it had never happened. And then when it happened, I was like, oh, okay, this is what they talk about. Okay. I didn't know.
But you didn't sort of take it even then?
No.
No, you didn't.
No.
Which is fantastic.
I think it comes from the visual mind that I have, I have this visual of a, sorry to sound wrong, but a very unhappy, frustrated person saying these things.
That is true.
Not anyone of consequence because you don't even have a name. The guise of anonymity makes me take you a little less seriously than I would if you came out there with your name, Rudrani saying you suck. means something. But like random person from random place with no name, like kitna?
We were talking about what Anandji said, and even when I met him the other day and you, there is a lot of belief that he has in you. He also, I think, puts you a little bit in a pedestal, and he says, no, she's done a great job. To get that kind of satisfactory, you must have done something right, no?
I think that Anandji and me have both kind of fallen in love with Rinku.
So cute.
I think that's what's really happened. And I think that something, of course, he's infinitely more experienced and, you know, has seen a lot more of life and films than I have. But I think that Anandji and me really bond over, apart from our love for food, the fact that we both are very honest when it comes to work. You know, I don't understand technicalities very much. You know, I've just about understood that I should move less in a close-up than I should in a wide shot. It's taken me like a long time to even get there. And even his briefs or his shot taking is not technical. So I think we are two people that rely so much on emotion that our emotional bond towards our film, towards our character and towards each other is actually much more honest than technical or thought out. It's heart over mind for both of us.
I actually asked him as well, and I want to ask you. I know there's a lot been said about the age difference. This particularly because I think, you know, Akshay's worked with Saif,
Yes.
and they want to point that out, oh, is this appropriate? But Anandji kept telling me that you have to wait till the release. But I want to know, when you read the kind of reactions, did that come to your mind to say that, no, you know, I'll put out like a well-thought statement to sort of put an end to all of this?
See, you'll never put an end to anything. The minute I put on a well-out statement, there'll be 5 other questions and then there'll be one more well-out answer.
And you can't.
So it keeps going on. I think that part of it is trusting the process. You know, I trust Anandji with my own self. So I'm going to trust him with his characters too. And I promise you there is a very good reason. And I promise you that nobody but Akshay sir and Dhanush sir could have played these roles. I believe that. And if you don't, you should watch the film. And if you do, you should watch the film. Either way, watch the film.
I like how you're like Dhanush sir and Akshay sir. But Dhanush being Dhanush, did he come and tell you, please don't call me sir?
I didn't call him sir.
Okay,
And I told him that I'll address you as Dhanush, but I'll call you Dhanush sir. Because like, you're Dhanush sir, but you're also Vishu and I'm also Rinku, so Dhanush is fine. But no, too much respect for him. Too much respect for him, not just as an actor, but as a human being. I don't know if I were to possess talent like that, firstly, oh God, if only. But if such humility would come so naturally. I can't tell you how humble he is, how helpful he is, how selfless he is. I mean, he is an outstanding team player.
Proudly so, who believe in the fact that women have to lead from the forefront. Your choices are slowly also showing that. Is that a conscious decision?
I'll tell you something. I think that it's important to tell good stories. And that's the most important thing. And it's important to have faith and conviction in a filmmaker. Having said that, I think after Atrangi, if of course people like what Anandji and me have done in Atrangi, then it would be exciting and challenging for me to get my teeth into a meaty character, because there's been so much to do in Atrangi that while every film has its merits and demerits, and I want to be able to do all kinds of films, it would be exciting to do something like this again, because it was a very, very immersive, therapeutic experience. It's like I really, truly lived her life, you know, and it would be interesting to do that again.
No.
If Rohit sir was to come to me and say, I want you to do Simba and Aakmari again, I would do it again.
Sure.
For sure.
It's what you feel at that moment also, no?
I think you do different films for different kinds of reasons. And as long as you're convinced about what you're doing and you do it with honesty, that's all that matters.
Your brother is coming here also.
Is he?
In this field. Is he?
Is he?
Oh, stop.
You tell me.
But of course, like, you know, he's, chalo, at least he's ADing.
Yes, he is.
Okay. And with a purpose, we all
Yes,
know that's
hopefully.
going, hopefully. But, you know, he's seen so much of course, of your dad go through, but of course you go through as well. Did you all have that chat ever as to how good or how bad can it get?
Not really. Not really. Of course, he, you know, sees it. But I think everybody has their own journey. You know, Ibrahim's just gotten out of school, and he's just, you know, what I realized myself is the amount you learn on this job now, no sister, mother, father can teach you. So instead of talking to him and telling him things where I'm his sister. He doesn't take me seriously ever.
That's
you know, I'll say meet me at 7 o'clock and I'll be on the road till 8:30. So he doesn't take anything I say seriously.
Yeah.
But I think that he has worked with people. He's aiding on a film with Karan Johar, with Alia, with Ranveer. I think they are probably the 3 most talented people in our industry. You know, so having worked with people like this, I think they will teach him what he has to learn. And that will be way more impactful and meaningful than it coming from anybody at home, you know. And I believe that. But Ibrahim is a very, very bright boy, you know, and he has super sharp instincts. He has outstanding comic timing. But I've also been told by a lot of people that I am a little obsessed with him. So, could be being biased, but love my brother.
That's
so,
true.
I don't know.
That's true. So, we'll see.
They've all said, you know, father, mother, everyone. Forget us as family. It's important for audiences and media to love you, yeah. If that works, you work. If it doesn't, then you don't. That's who we're here for. And I think Ibrahim knows that also.
Okay, not to sound cliches, but most of your videos have always been Atrangi.
Have they not?
Have they? Namaste, Tara.
Namaste.
I like how you told me that's not a character repair. I want to know, do people assume that that's how you become on and off?
I think so. I think people are
Do they
like,
come and tell you?
you know, like,
can you do that?
At least now it's become better. Firstly, Paps, who I love, are like, वो नमस्ते वाला pose कीजिए ना. I say, वो pose नहीं है. वो pose नहीं है. मैं आपको नमस्ते कर रही हूँ, आपको pose लग रहा है. But I mean, at least it's evolved, because I think that at the risk of taking this conversation away from humor, there were a certain, you know, oh, we are English-speaking people that used to look down on me for saying namaste. They used to be like, why are you saying namaste? We speak English. And I'm like, yes, so do I. I studied at Columbia, but I'm an Indian, so namaste anyway. Hello.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think that I've always been very culturally proud. And I find myself most comfortable in my Indian clothes, my Indian behavior, my Indian food. And if I'm as Indian as I am, which I am, I think greeting somebody the correct and traditional way is only polite. It by no means implies that you don't speak English. I mean, so do I, right? Look at us right now. You can still say namaste.
Yeah, of course. Is your travel show happening with your Instagram following and that entire cute little adorable tour guide thing? Tell me they have an approach. It has to be.
Not yet.
What?
Yeah.
We're putting it in the vibes.
Please,
I think it'll be so much fun. It'll be
right?
quirky.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to give that IP to anyone.
Oh, you don't want to?
No.
Even if it's going to go for a lot? No?
No, yeah. It's so fun to just go to different places and, torment and torture my friends and brother and family to just do videos with me. The minute I take my phone out, Anandji, Mom, Ibrahim, they're all like, no, please, no. Because I'm unreliable and it might go on Instagram.
Oh, that ways.
Yeah.
But are you controlling your social media? Are you told to be like a certain way?
No, I'm not told that.
No?
I'm not told that. I'm told to be who I am, which I am. There's really no format to my Instagram. I think that I like to make jokes as often as I like to encourage people to work out, as often as I'll do a brand post or post with my family or friends. I don't take Instagram too seriously. I enjoy it. I think it depicts different moods of mine and different sides to my personality. The only pitfall is that sometimes what happens is if you do too much of something, it gets difficult to be taken seriously sometimes. Like, I appreciate the fact that people keep saying, oh, knock jokes, or oh, namaste darshako, which is great. I enjoy it. I probably am going to do it again like in a week. Yeah. I could go home right now and be like in a quirky mood and like, you know, torture my brother into shooting one with me. It might happen.
Yeah.
But sometimes what happens is people then just assume that because this is you, it means that only this is you.
Yeah.
Which is something that is scary to me. Because I think that I am a deep person. I think that I am a decently educated person. I think I do have emotions. I do have thoughts and beliefs. And it's unfortunate if they get neglected only because of humor. I think it's all fair and good as long as they can coexist, which is important, you know. Which is something that like people have begun speaking to me about, well-wishers of course. They're like, listen, like funny is fine, but you need to make sure that people don't assume that Sara is only funny, because Sara is a lot more than funny, you know, which is something that I deeply believe, and now I'm actually thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's right.
It's been a while also since that Coffee with Karan couch, right?
Yeah.
Since you came and of course since
as
you
Karan
went
calls
viral.
it, my debut. It's been
Your
a while.
debut, it is kind of that.
It is.
It was he letting the world see a little part of you,
100%.
which they loved. But I also want to know, you know, it's been a while since then, and I want to know what have you learned Have you, has your candidness reduced a little bit? Are you more careful?
I'm more aware.
And I also want to know, there's one little thing that you had said about one crush on someone, that became another, and now is a different chapter. So are you still the same person, or do you now sort of, I don't know,
I
change?
think I've always been the kind of person that I am. I don't think I can change that, because any amounts of love I've been given, not necessarily as an actor, but as a human being, has been because of a certain candor. And I don't think I can or should lose that.
Please don't.
But I am beginning to realize that things said out of context can mean very different things to different people. For instance, I'm much more comfortable in a video interview than I am in a print interview, only because I'll say something in a totally different context. And if you don't see me winking into the camera, or you don't see me like laughing, you'll take me really seriously. Whereas that's not intended. So I think that not every viewer or reader has the same appetite for humor as I do. I think I take things a lot more lightly than most people do. And I think I say a lot of things as a joke. You know, like even on that Coffee with Karan show, I think had I done that show today, people wouldn't have been that affected and wouldn't have made so many headlines, because by now people know Sara कुछ भी बोलती है. उस वक्त लोगों को लगा था कि कोई कॉफी विद करण पे पहली बार आया है, शायद बकवास नहीं करने वाली है. You know, now they know that okay, it's Sara. The only thing she's reliable about is food. You know?
But then you were still more proper, and you still said less. If you are calling it bakwas, I thought it was very thoroughly entertaining, because Saif was saying way more things than you did.
I mean, but the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree.
That is true.
हम दोनों बाप बेटी अलग ही है, Atrangi type है. So, but ultimately, I think that's what it is. I don't think that I'm less honest, but I do hope, at least, that I am understanding an appropriate conduct that needs to be, you know, maintained at certain places.
As to other things that you would not do on screen when it comes to script, things that you don't believe in, is that where you are, or have you not given that a thought?
I think the only thing that I know is if I'm not excited and if I'm not motivated to do something, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't think I have what it takes to be like, this is a great project, even though it's not exciting, let me just do it because I think I can kill it. I don't operate like that.
But your own personal ideals or beliefs would not come into place when it comes to...
No.
Never?
No, I don't think so.
You can separate the art from the artist?
Yes, I think I can. Because it's not me. As much as I, you know, and I was talking to Dhanush about this the other day. See, Dhanush came out. Dhanush sir. So
you didn't say sir.
I was talking to him the other day, and he was like, are you okay? Because we just watched parts of Atrangi. And I was like, you know, I think I'm having like this bittersweet withdrawal, because as we get closer to release, Rinku is becoming less mine and more everyone's. And he very correctly and rightfully said, he said, Sara, Rinku was never yours to begin with. You know? And that kind of like really struck, because, and the way it links to your question, is the fact that ultimately we are vehicles for a story that is not actually about us. So, मैं आपको रिंकू का दृष्टिकोण नहीं दर्शा रही. I am Sara, hired by Anand L. Rai to play Rinku. So the thoughts, the beliefs are not mine. Sometimes if they ring, or if you can relate, or if you can understand, Sone Pe Suhaga, but that's not a requirement, I think. I think understanding that it is the director's vision is the only requirement. And I believe that. Yeah, you can channelize in the right way, in the right scenario. I think in today's day and age, whether it's social media or otherwise, there are many channels for Sara to give you her opinion. This is Rinku's opinion, which is not mine.
Fair enough. I feel like we've been pitting women against each other for a long time, and it's just getting boring now. You know, both Janhvi and you have had, you know, I'm sure the pictures, they were like, oh my God, and all of that. And I felt like, but they were always the way you guys are, right? Because you have the same bond, I think, with everybody, with Ananya and all of that. And I want to know, is there, and I see that little bit of a sisterhood for each other, because you all are in the same part of it, and you're not being pitted against each other and making it look like some nasty game, which people often try to make it look like. I want to know if you face that.
See, I think anything is what it's perceived to be. You know, like a lot of people will say, I am pitted against Janhvi. But I don't see it like that. So to me, it doesn't mean anything. You know, as long as Janhvi is sure and confident in the kind of person that she is, and I am sure and confident as the kind of person I am, I think that's all. And there is a lot of admiration for each other. And yeah, you're right. I think that she is rooting for me and I'm rooting for her. And I think that's all that it takes. And we have a sense of who we are. And we have more in common than we don't. You know, we've both lost 2 years of our lives to this pandemic that stopped us from doing what we want to do. Whether it's Ananya, Janhvi, me, Radhika, any of us, we're all ambitious young girls that have been locked down, as has the rest of the country. So obviously, there's more to bond over than not.
Of course.
And I think that's about it. And I think Janhvi's a blast. I've like holidayed with her. She's a really, really cool chick.
And she also makes really fun Instagram videos.
Yeah, her Apsa
Collaboration
gang is
cover.
great. I love it.
Right? And she takes full credit for it and she says, I direct them.
I'm sure she does. I'm sure she does because she has a wicked sense of humor.
She is. She's
So I'm
fun.
really sure that she does.
I also want to know that Atrangi Re, right? And I'm sure a little part of you is missing that entire theatrical feel.
A little bit.
Little bit.
A little more.
How
than
have
a
you
little
calmed
bit.
yourself down? And told yourself, like, it's okay.
You know, I'll tell you something about me. When something's not in your hands, I realize it and I understand it. This decision was never in my hands. And I also think as a person, I've grown to see the silver lining of things. Hotstar does have a very high reach. And ultimately, I'm an actor, yeah. If I can touch your soul in any situation, in any way, and you like the film and you enjoy the film, the medium becomes a little bit secondary to me.
Yeah.
As long as it's good content and people are liking it, hopefully enjoying it, that's all. Now I've done my work with honesty. Now it's uski kismat, kaam ki kismat. मैंने थोड़ी चुना है.
If I ask you anything as to, oh, is that one you already said that you're not there in Nakhre Valley? And if I say if you're in Ashwathama and if you're in others, you're obviously in Ashwathama.
No, I don't. There's nothing that I can talk to you about right now.
Sarah almost gave it and then she's like,
I said, no, there's nothing. I never said anything before that.
I don't want to put you into trouble with your manager too.
You won't.
But I know there are a lot of stuff happening. Is there anything that you can tell us about a little bit?
I think you will find out very, very soon. I think that before the end of December, you will find out what I'm doing next.
You are?
Yeah. Because I've done some of it already. Chalo, done.
Oh,
No.
she's like, oh, before your manager
Yeah,
gives
yeah,
you.
yeah, this is
okay,
enough.
this was really lovely. Like I said to you when I met you, I think it's looking great. I want to see what is there. I want to see the whole story. I did not talk much about the story because I was told you can't tell much also about it. But it looks exciting. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to judge that from the trailer as to what might happen and what is appropriate or not. I'm going to wait and see.
Thank you.
Because it looks good.
Yay.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I will not meet you. So very happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
To you as well.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Lots of love.
You also.